Hey guys, it's Ian with IanBlueMusic.com. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 6 things you need to know to be a successful FL Studio producer in 2020. Okay, so first thing, know your tools. This is super important. You're trying to get a professional sound, but if you don't know what tools you have available to get that sound, you're not really going to get anywhere. Obviously, it's fun to download FL Studio. You've got it on your laptop and you just want to be making beats, but it's important to do a little bit of research about the whole process, what tools you have available. One of the big things that's super important is Splice or Sounds.com, someplace where you can get a whole ton of samples. Understand that most every producer has some sort of library like this, whether they've purchased samples over years and years or they've got the subscription to something like Splice, but ultimately all these other producers have access to those tools, and so you're not going to be very competitive if you don't also have access to those tools. Things like Splice or Sounds.com for your samples, so you have high quality samples that are modern and constantly updated. Things like Lander, if you want to use an online mastering service so you can get high quality mastered tracks, decently quality mastered tracks anyway, for a really good price point. Or things like DistroKid or SoundDrop. SoundDrop is my distributor for Spotify and Apple Music and things like that, and it's free. They take a percentage, but you don't have to pay any upfront money to get your music on Spotify, on iTunes. It's really easy, but it's important to know that you have those tools available. This also goes for the plugins. The plugins in FL Studio, they're always updating the software, and that's actually going to bring me into number 2. Know your software. This is so important. There is so many features in FL Studio. There's so many effect plugins, VST instruments, and all of these things are being updated constantly. Anytime there's an update, which is FL Studio does a lifetime free updates, it's going to oftentimes add either, maybe it's just new presets, but a lot of times they'll throw in brand new plugins that are now included with FL Studio from ImageLine. They'll throw in brand new instruments. Flex is a pretty new VST instrument, and I'm using it a lot. I'm finding there's a lot of good sounds in there if you start digging through it. So just be aware of what tools and options you have in FL Studio. The other thing is spend a day and really dig into it. I know it's tempting to just make beats, but spend a day, look through the plugins, look through the effects, really get into it, or even the features and things like piano roll. You probably don't know all the things like strum and how the quantize works, or chop, some of these deep cut features that are really going to accelerate your process so you can produce quicker and then also get you a better sound that you're looking for. Number 3. Now you're in the process of buying plugins. So you've outgrown maybe some of the stock FL Studio sounds, you want a new synth or new effects or new reverb, whatever it is. There's a lot of good stuff in FL Studio, but understand when it's time to buy plugins, it's important to buy once and cry once. And what I mean by that is spend the money up front. The mistake I made when I was first starting out is that I would look on the internet forever to find the cheapest or the freest auto-tune I could find. It would sound okay, but it wouldn't sound like any of the tracks that I'd heard on the radio because they're using plugins that cost hundreds of dollars. And I know it's probably not ideal to be spending hundreds of dollars when you're just starting out and you just spent all this money on a laptop and monitor speakers and headphones and FL Studio, and now you have to spend hundreds of dollars on a plugin. I know it seems crazy, but it's the most important thing you could do. If you ever think you'll use the real auto-tune and spend that $300, might as well spend it up front. Save your money and buy the real thing instead of spending money on really cheap or spending hours trying to find a free version of something. It's not worth it. Get the real thing, spend the money up front, you won't regret it. Things like Melodyne, things like buying Complete from Native Instruments. There's some things from Waves, Intera's Auto-Tune, Soundtoys. These are like really good quality plugins, and they're the only way you're really gonna get the sound you're looking for. Don't spend hours with a subpar vocoder. Just get a Vocal Synth 2, which is going to be the sound that you've been hearing on all the songs that you're trying to emulate. You won't have to waste a lot of time with cheap plugins that don't end up getting that sound. That's a mistake I made a ton starting out. It's really important that you guys don't make that mistake. If you're going to be serious about producing music, then invest that money up front. You're going to be using these plugins for a long time. Number 4, you're a producer, but you don't do everything. Understand that. Your goal is not to be everything. Your goal is to work with as many people as you can, producers, writers, singers, guitar players, whatever it may be. You're gonna learn a lot from people. That's the most important thing, and you're gonna see other people's processes. For me, I've been working in FL Studio for almost 10 years, and I'll sit down with someone that's been producing for a year and they'll show me this feature I didn't know about. So it's important to understand that you can learn from everyone. Get in the studio with as many people as you can. That's going to help you grow faster. That's going to help you build a network to stay motivated. That's going to help you build a team of people, and that's super important to have. Artists like Drake or Ariana Grande, they aren't producing and making all this music themselves, or even producers. They aren't making all these beats themselves. They're working with other people. They're connecting with people to do mixing and to do some of their promotional material and photography and things like that. Build a team. Take care of your people. Pay people if you have to. I would encourage that. Get in the studio with a successful producer, someone that can mix really well and get your track sounding really good, and you're gonna learn a lot from that. Even if it costs money up front, it's worth investing, and it's one of the only ways you're really gonna get the quality sound that you're looking for. Number 5. Okay, so it's really obvious, but have an online presence. For me, it was always discouraging to hear that, because I saw these people, whether it was Instagram models or these musicians that just kind of had the juice and they had hundreds of thousands of followers. How was I ever gonna get that? That's not what I'm saying. It's important to be making sure that the people you know you're still making music. It's important to make sure that your friends know you're still making music, because if you just put out a little post every time you release music, they're gonna forget. If it's once every 3 months, once every 6 months that you put out tracks or release a beat pack, they're gonna forget that you make music. It's gonna seem like a lot, but putting something out every week, every 2 weeks, so people have you on top of mind, that way that they always remember that, oh yeah, this guy makes music. Oh, I should check out his music. Oh yeah, my buddy is looking for a producer. And if you're top of mind, that's going to be really beneficial for you. But people forget really quickly. So if you are only posting once every 3 months, they might be only seeing something from you once every 9 months. So it's important to put out a lot of content, keep people understanding that you are a producer making music. And finally, number 6. Okay, understand that it will take forever and ever and ever to be successful. And I don't mean that to discourage you. What I want for you to have is patience. I get a lot of people that are talking about they just got FL Studio, they're gonna have their album out next year, and they're gonna move to LA, which is great, but it's probably not gonna happen that way. It takes a long time to get a good sound, to get your production right, to get your process right, to get the people in the right places and have a team. It takes a long time, and it's hard work. That shouldn't be discouraging. I just want it to be encouraging when you get a year or 2 or 3 years down the road and you're not where you thought you would be, because you got into it and you realized how hard it is to do some of these things. And that's fine. So it's important to stay motivated for the long haul. Be patient, work hard, and you'll get the success you're looking for, but you have to put the time in. That's super important. So that's it, 6 things to be successful as a FL Studio producer in 2020. If you have anything that you think I missed, anything else that's really important, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm putting out more content. I put out a ton of videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.